maximum. .05, let's try another spot. .04. .03. Ah. 0.04. So we have our 911 SC pistons that we're reusing. We've taped them all up, and we're just going to apply some Cerakote microslick. This just helps with the wear on the skirts. These pistons are used and they measure up fine, so we're okay reusing them. This is just going to give them a little bit extra longevity, hopefully. Today I'm working on the rod. So I've gone through, done a light finish hone and pin fit on all the bushings. Everything came up good. Same cleaned out, new rod bolts, and I'm just doing an initial weigh. So the Porsche spec is plus minus 5 grams. So every rod is supposed to be within 5 grams of each other. So we have 701.9, 702.9, 700.3, and then we hit this one. This is pretty unusual. As far as I know, nobody's been into the lower end of this case, but we never really know on a 40-plus-year-old vehicle. But this rod should never have been in there, being that it is about 8 grams difference from our highest rod, which is 702.9, 694.1. That's almost 8 grams, just under 8 grams out. So going to have to do a little bit of work. Normally I would see if we could swap one out. I'm not sure if we have. I got to check our stock, see if we got a rod that's closer. If you look in PET, they will actually part number the rods by weight, and you could go ahead and order it. I'm going to weigh my big ends and little ends, see how much room I have to grind, and if we have to, we can take the rest of the rods down, just so long as we don't have to take a lot off of the tops or off of the backs. 493.1.2, happy with that. Okay, so we finished with our rods, and what we ended up doing with these is we've got all of the big ends to 493 grams pretty much, within 0.3 of a gram maximum difference. The big end I find is a little more important than the small end just because it's more of a rotating mass. The whole overall weight is still a concern, but all of our big ends match our weight. Little ends, except for our one light rod, we're still within the Porsche spec, and I kind of weighed the benefits of getting another rod. I made a couple of calls to see if I could exchange it. Nobody had a rod that I could exchange with them that was in the weight range that we were looking for. So we've kind of left this one. Overall, we've got our split down from 8 grams, which was way outside of the factory tolerance, to just a little under 4 grams now is our split. So we're within the factory tolerances. I'll weigh all my pistons and see what we have for piston and ring weights. And if we have a heavier piston, we'll marry it with this rod. But all in all, I think we're good. We're ready to go and continue putting things together. So we're prepping our 1979 911 SC for reassembly. I've already chased all of the threads on for the head studs on this side of the case using a forming tap, so we're not removing material. We've got all of our studs back in. We had some studs that turned out with the nuts, so we've cleaned threads, got those back in. Just doing a final flush of all the oil galleys and getting ready to put everything back in. So just put in our locating pin for our number 8 bearing, very important. If you don't put this in, there's a possibility of the number 8 bearing spinning in the housing, which could result in a loss of oil pressure and or damage to the front of the case. Just finished cleaning out our crank. We've already polished it, measured it. We've got all our bearings measured up, and we've already calculated our clearance and bearing location. So in our case, we have our bearings in. We've recorded all of our numbers on our sheet so we can put it into our Excel spreadsheet. So the crank was really nice, really good quality. Numbers were great, polished up great, nice finish on everything. So we're ready to assemble our freshly balanced rods in and start getting this unit all together. So we have our oil pump that we've disassembled and cleaned. It's come out of our polisher. Once again, really nice shape. I mean, little tiny bit of scoring. We're not too concerned about it right here. The intermediate plate, I have resurfaced it on a flat piece of glass, figure eights. No major scoring, no major issues. Everything looks good, so we're going to go ahead and reassemble this.
And look at the torque wrenches and I'll know the torque.
Sweet. Okay, so I've just pulled the housing down an initial amount. And now we're torquing it.
There's some unknown torque. I'm not your apprentice.
And the secret is
I can't read that shit.
10 Newton meters.
Great.
So I'm just working some oil through the whole pump. It should rotate nice and smoothly. And once again with these, I do not like to use a really heavyweight oil because it can change the feeling on the crank, the drag. I want to be able to feel just the gears moving. Okay, looks good. So there's our pump. Lubricated, back together, turns nice, new hardware, everything torqued, 10 Newton meters, pins reinstalled. The alignment pins are really key. Don't tighten the bolts until the alignment pins are in. Otherwise you can have the whole thing just lock up on you. So this is ready. We just got to put our circlip on and we're ready to install the pump. Okay, this is one of the secret areas that holds all kinds of nastiness. Always want to make sure you pull this plug. It comes out really easy and you really flush that whole area. I usually get my bottle brush in there and clean all the way, and I have good solid solvent coming out of my oil lubrication jet there. But we're just going to give this a final rinse in MPS, put our plug back in, and we're ready to assemble with the oil pump. Okay, I use a very, very small amount of 574, only because I found these plugs to be quite loose in here. They are not an interference fit. And what I want is it to sit there when it's under oil pressure and seal and not leak around it. That's seated. So there's my circlip in, and I just pull back on that little plug to seat it against the circlip. Just lubricating our bearings, getting ready to put in our oil pump and intermediate shaft. We have our oil seal installed, and we're ready to go ahead and drop that intermediate shaft in. Feels good. Grab some fresh nuts. Okay, oil pumps in, tighten down, so it's nice and even. Now we've already set our end float here. We've seated our thrust faces, lightly tapping with a hammer to seat those thrust faces on the bearings. We did that when we checked our backlash against our crank. So oil pumps in, intermediate shaft connected. 2 circlips are on here that stop the shaft from moving back and forth. Chains are on, gears in, ready to get the crank ready to install. Okay, so we've got all our rods on, tightened down, torqued, everything's moving nice and freely, and then I've got our lightweight rod marked, so we'll put a heavier piston with this particular rod. So getting really close, we've just got to set up our nose bearing, get the nose bearing set up, and then we'll be ready to drop our crank into the case. So before we put our crankshaft in, I want to measure my case thicknesses, and I'll record them a couple of different places. So 111.7, 111.66. All right, so we've got our crank laying in. We're going to go ahead and get our chains held up and our rods positioned, and then get the other half of the case prepped, ready to bring the two together. No, I don't care about that. That one, if you leave it in, it gets stuck.
Are you doing this in one torque?
Only 35 newton meters.
It's quite light.
Long bolt.
A lot of stretch.
Got this one ready. Yep. Feel slow. Sweet.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's different.
Good. Case closed.